All right, guys, it's showtime.
Showtime!
We're back with another review for you people. This time around, we're going to be doing a full movie review on the Steven Seagal film Out for Justice.
Hell yeah, one of Steven Seagal's best.
Yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, it's one of his best films, his early films. But before we get into the review, we're going to talk about a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff, the production and whatnot. So, Out for Justice, starring Steven Seagal and William Forsythe, came out on April 12th, 1991.
Damn.
So, a long time ago. And had a budget of $14 million, and the box office, it ended up making like $40 million, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah,
So-
dude. Flip 14 million for 40 million.
Right,
Hell
so it made a profit.
yeah.
This film is really good, and I'll tell you a story before we get into this of how I first seen this film. I remember back somewhere there in 91 when I was pretty young. I was like 12 years old at the time,
Yeah.
and my cousin called me up and says, "Hey, our uncle is going to come out and pick us up. My uncle Mark." And we're going to go to a baseball game, and then after the baseball game, we're going to go to the movies. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So it was kind of out of the blue, and I didn't, I don't think it was planned or anything. It just so happened to be that way. So we ended up going to a baseball game. I can't remember, which one it was. This was back in 91, obviously, so over 30 years ago. But after the baseball game, he took us to the movies, and we ended up seeing Out for Justice,
Cool.
which was pretty kick-ass. So that's the first film that I seen as a kid at the theaters of Steven Seagal's. One of, because before then, Steven Seagal only made like 2 or 3 movies beforehand. So he was still pretty fresh in the movie business. But that's the first film that I seen of his at the theaters.
I remember always watching Steven Seagal movies thinking like how can somebody be that good of a fighter?
He was pretty good. But he was doing Aikido years and years and years before he got into the movie business.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen so many movies where he get in fight scenes and like the guy, no matter who he fought, no matter how badass fighter that he fought, like the guy could never get a hit on him.
Right.
Like,
it was rare that he did get hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, come on. I mean, you might be good, but nobody's that good.
Yeah. Well, he made himself look that good.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, this movie was pretty good. But I did want to go over something that I didn't know about this film.
Okay.
So I guess during production, the director named John Flynn claimed that the original title for this movie was going to be called The Price of Our Blood, meaning mafia blood, which I think that sounds like a cool name for a movie, The Price of Our Blood.
Yeah.
It says that was the title that Steve Seagal and the director wanted, but Warner Brothers said no. It had to be a 3-word title like all of his other titles beforehand, like Above the Law, Hard to Kill, and Marked for Death. Marked for Death. So I guess that's weird. I would have kept that name, to be honest. I would have kept the Price of Our Blood.
Well, that does sound like a pretty damn good name for a movie.
Yeah, and I don't think that's ever even been used that I can think of. But that's interesting. I didn't know about that. And also, here's another thing I'm looking at. It says the movie was originally much longer and included more plot and characters, but Steve Seagal cut some of William Forsythe's scenes because he felt that the Forsythe was overstaging him. Well, he overstaged him anyways, regardless of those cuts.
I mean, dude, you go back and you watch Out for Justice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You could tell that William Forsythe stole the fucking show, man.
Yeah, I mean he was like he's such a great actor. Like
what a loose cannon in that movie.
He can give those crazy like roles like that. Devil's Rejects.
Right. And Stone Cold.
Yeah, and where he could just be like that. Wow, like you don't want to cross this guy.
Right. I remember thinking that. I remember saying to myself, I never want to go around somebody like that. Such a loose ass cannon like that.
Yeah, like I know we're gonna get into the movie, but I want to just talk about the one scene, right? The one scene where he just pulls a girl out of the car
and shoots her in the head.
Yep. Yeah. And he just pulls her out in the headlock and just caps her in the fucking head.
Yeah. After he ends up killing a cop.
Yeah.
He already knew, I think at that point, that he didn't give a fuck anymore about anything.
Yeah, I mean he didn't give a fuck. Two, if you see, he was high as hell on whatever drugs they were using.
Right. He was on some stuff. But yeah, I find it funny that Steven Seagal cut some of his scenes because he felt that Forsythe was upstaging him. It doesn't matter because, like I said, he still upstaged him anyways. So, and there is a TV version that I've seen that had some more scenes in it that are not in the theatrical version. You know? But they should have probably just kept the movie longer. I hate when they cut movies down.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, William Forsythe. They said he was a badass bad guy in that movie.
Yeah, and so let's see. Out for Justice is a 1991 American action film, directed by John Flynn and co-produced by and starring Steven Seagal as Gino. He's a veteran police detective who sets out to avenge his partner Bobby's murder by killing Richie, the trigger-happy, drug-addicted mafioso culprit. Yeah, because at that point he had pretty much lost his mind.
Yeah, so I was saying. I mean, remember the movie starts off with him killing his partner.
Well, pretty much. Beforehand, they're about to do some sort of drug bust.
Yeah.
But he ends up beating up a pimp and throwing him into a car windshield because he's beating up one of his girls.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go over the plot here. It says, Gino is an NYPD detective from Brooklyn who has strong ties within his neighborhood. It says here, Gino and his partner Bobby wait to bust up a multi-million-dollar drug deal, but Gino sees a pimp, which we were just talking about, violently assaulting one of his girls. So he intervenes in that. He ends up taking that pimp and just, fucking him up and throwing him through the fucking windshield.
Yeah, fucking him up like only Steven Seagal can.
Yeah, but shortly afterwards, that's when, his partner, Bobby, and I believe his wife and kids were out for a walk, and, let's see.
Yeah, they were just
Richie comes up to him in the middle of daylight in front of everybody, shooting him, gunning him down.
Yeah, gunned him down in front of his family.
Yeah, and throws a picture on him, which shows because he was, messing around with other girls, and one of them was William Forsythe's girl.
He wasn't just messing around with any girls. He was messing around with his girl.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. He was messing around with William Forsythe's girl. So with him being a crazy, drugged up motherfucker and seeing that, it just set him over the edge. So later on in the film, he ends up killing mafia members. So I knew then. I said, this guy doesn't even care to live. That's why he said later on during the movie, he's like, this is my night, my last night,
Yeah, because he knew between Steven Seagal
and the mafia
guys that were coming out.
Yeah, he's a dead man eventually.
Yeah, that one of them is going to eventually get him.
Yeah.
If Steven Seagal will get him, the mafia is going to get him.
Yeah. Which he did. He got him at the end of the film.
Oh yeah.
Which was pretty powerful, but he ends up killing Bobby, and then they're leaving, and then they stop the car like in the middle of the road, doing drugs and talking business with his group of henchmen or whatever, And some girl pulls up and says, "Hey, you want to get the fuck out of the way and all this shit?" And he's just like, he gets out of the fucking car, takes her and shoots her in the fucking head.
Grabs her in a damn headlock, pulls her like half out of the car, and just
caps her ass. Yeah, like, it's like, wow.
I remember, dude, the first time I ever seen that scene, I was just like, I was shocked. Like,
yeah, me too.
Like, I mean, it's one thing to kill, like how he killed Bobby,
right?
But like, just some random girl just yelling at him, you know, you're just gonna grab her in a headlock like that, blow her brains out.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty fucking wild. Well, I guess they they wanted to show he was just at that breaking point.
Yeah, I mean, to show him that was clear indication. Like you said, he was gone. Like he had no humanity left in him whatsoever.
Right. He was done with.
Yeah. But I tell you, the part I liked in that movie was when he gets to when Steven Seagal is talking to his cop buddies, and I guess the captain or whatever gives them, the okay, like, go get him. And, he's like, have you a car? There's a 12 gauge in the trunk.
Yeah, and the captain here named Ronnie is played by Jerry Orbach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the movie. I've seen him in quite a few films over the years.
Yeah.
He goes after him, but he doesn't. He's having a hard time finding him, except for at one point where William Forsythe pulls up to another group of people.
Yeah, what did he like? Remember, he threw the guy something like.
Yeah, he threw him money. I can't remember exactly what he says, but something along the lines where like, "Did you got the balls, to ride with me," or something like that. You got the balls. He goes, "Yeah, I got the fucking balls."
Yeah, I got the balls.
Yeah, he's like, "Then you got the bread," and tosses him the money, and that's when Steven Seagal's character sees him, drives up, and there's like, "Get in the fucking car," And
that was one of the coolest car chases, man. Like, remember he hits that one area, he's chasing after him, and he's hitting all like these bumps, and the car's just boom, 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 boom,
right.
boom. I'm like, dude, your suspension would be so fucked after that, like.
Right,
but
right.
I was gonna say before that deal happened, when he threw him the money and stuff, when he set out to go look for him, they were playing that song by the Beastie Boys.
Oh yeah, No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Yeah, and like, dude, like, I love it when you watch a movie and they play like a really kick-ass song, and it just like it suits the scene so well.
Yeah.
And I think when you hear that music and you see him just driving all around, like looking like, where the hell are you, boy? Like, you're mine. And so yeah, they play that. He's driving around, and like you said, he sees them at that meeting up with those guys. They have a big wild car chase.
They have a car chase. So Steven Seagal gets blocked off by a big truck, which gives them time to get away. But they stop at a meat market, and he has all the boys go inside. He has like half of them. He says, "Look, I want them up on a hook. We got business to do. Put them up by a hook, And Steven Seagal ends up going in there, man, and fucks everybody up in there. I mean, they're all trying to beat his ass and stick him with knives, and he's just fucking beating the hell out of all of them.
Yeah.
Which was a cool throwdown fight scene.
That was a cool fight scene, but I always liked the fight scene in the bar, like Richie's brother's bar.
Yeah. That was one of the the one in the bar where he fights all those guys. Plus he fights Dan Inosanto, which was Bruce Lee's friend. They called him Sticks.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Remember he's like, get him Sticks, and he's flipping the sticks all around. And
right. See, that's Dan Inosanto, who was actually Bruce Lee's friend and training partner, and who worked on Game of Death with Bruce Lee. Yeah. So that's why Steven probably had him as that part in the movie. Which is cool.
Remember one of the guys, he winds up like throwing in like a phone booth and he
Yeah,
comes
a couple
there.
times.
Yeah, like he throws him in, shuts the door. Later on, the guy's getting out. He just throws him back in.
Yeah, because Steven Seagal's there. He's like, has anybody seen Richie?
Anybody know why he killed Bobby Lupo?
Yeah, right. He goes, he goes, you ain't shit. That one mafia guy, he's like, you ain't shit without that, badge and gun.
Yeah,
here's my gun. Here's my badge. Fair game, okay?
And he's like, oh, here's
Come
my
and get
gun.
it. Yeah, you guys, I offer $5,000 right now for that badge. $5,000, and these guys started coming after him.
remember the one guy that he Skull puts the damn pool balls in like a rag or something, and he nails that guy in the face like, you fucking knocked my teeth out.
Yeah, the one guy, he's like, look, there's only two things stopping you. He says, fear and common sense. And I'm going to cut your fucking head off. And he takes the cue ball and knocks his teeth out. And he's like, oh, motherfucker, you knocked my teeth out. And he hits him again.
That's what, to me, that's one of the funniest lines in the movie. Like,
motherfucker.
You see him spitting his teeth out, and they're all just laying there on the table. And he's like, you fucking knocked my teeth out.
No, well, that's what would definitely happen if you got hit in the face with a cue ball.
with a pool ball.
Yeah, like, your teeth would be going out. But that was a really cool fight scene, in the movie as well. Also, there were some interesting things that had happened. Like at one point, some guy drops a garbage bag off in the middle of the road, which had a puppy in there.
Oh yeah, and that's fucking.
That's messed up. Well, he ends up finding him at the end of the movie and kicks him in the nuts.
But don't they fucking cut it. They cut the movie before he whoops his ass. It's like, dude.
What do you mean?
I wanted to see him whoop this guy's ass for doing that little puppy, man.
Well, he did. He threw a punch at Seagal, and Seagal kicked him in the nuts.
Yeah, but like, I'm talking about. I wanted to see him like totally be like, be fucking respect out of that motherfucker.
Oh, he got his payback, and the dog ended up pissing on him at the very end.
Hell yeah.
Also, another scene in the movie, which people may or may not know about, is that there was a small, what's his name? Where's he at? Kane Hodder. He was one of the gang members, I believe at the end, that gets shot. But also, John Leguizamo is in the movie. They call him the boy in the alley, but he was like a drug dealer or something in the alley and he only had like, I would say like a 20-second scene where he's in the alley and he sees Richie, William Forsythe's character, and goes to leave, and Richie grabs him, takes the drugs from him, and then pulls a gun on him, and then that's it. So I don't know if he actually killed him in the movie. I would assume so.
Yeah.
To get the drugs. But, I thought that was kind of interesting that John Leguizamo only had a small, like 20, 30-second scene.
It's funny when you always see a big-named actor or actress.
Right, well, he wasn't really big back then. In the late 80s, early 90s, you see him in minor roles, but he didn't become bigger until, I would say, like the late 90s, the mid-late 90s, I want to say. He had a small part also in Die Hard 2, but he had a bigger part was in Casualties of War.
Yeah.
That was his first movie.
I think where he got big was doing Super Mario Brothers.
Well, yeah, that's when he started, I believe, to get known in Carlito's Way. Yeah. And then also The Fan, Executive Decision, which is another movie with Steven Seagal.
Assault on Precinct 13.
Right, and also Spawn. From 97. Yeah, he started to become like more well known in the later 90s, and also Empire was another good one. But yeah, he had a small part in Out for Justice, which is kind of cool. Let's see what else. And yeah, during that time, he like the mafia guys they talk to Steven Seagal.
Yeah,
and he tells them, I'm going to go after him. I'm going to get him, you know. And the mafia guys are also looking for him, so they end up going to Richie's brother's bar to check up and see, you know, where's Richie.
Yeah, and I remember one time Richie actually happens to be there, and
that's where William Firesight and his crew kill off a bunch of mafia members, man.
Yeah, because he's telling them, he's like, these motherfuckers come down here every half hour and fucking me. And whenever they go to, like, gets everybody, like, guns out and stuff, and they're setting up a trap for him, and the brother fucking winds up running off like, fuck you, you out of this family. Or something like that.
Yeah. Well, what happens is he tells his brother, get your gun, because they're about to kill these mafia members. He's like, I can't. And he punches him in the face. He's like, don't let me ever fucking see you again, man. Never again.
Yeah, brother, like, runs off during the...
Yeah, his brother runs off and never to see him again. Also, his sister, played by Gina Gershon, is in it. Yeah. She's the... Steve Seagal goes to her place asking a bunch of questions, puts her in jail, puts the dad in jail. He's, like, really trying to find Richie.
Yeah, well, of course I mean, you know, you take out, you know, you kill his best friend. It's like, motherfucker, I'm coming for you.
Then you then you kill a lady and you're killing mafia member. You really want to not live.
Yeah, he killed another lady too. Didn't he kill, like, because they go to this one girl's house and they walk in and she's like, wasn't she like laying in bed like dead?
I think that was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think that was his. From what I'm seeing in the plot, that he kills his girlfriend after showing him that picture, and then finds Bobby and kills him and throws the picture on him.
So and they don't find her dead till way later.
Right.
So he
got the picture from her to piss him off, but Richie lost it.
Yeah, he killed her, killed him, and then that's what started his whole downward spiral to led that big old showdown between him and Steven Seagal.
And even before that, because Seagal's character was like almost going through a divorce with his wife. Yeah. So they end up going. He's at her house, and at some point, Richie's men, a lot of them end up going to her house, and he ends up, you know, gunning them down. And the one guy, he's like, well, I ain't got a gun. He's like, I can't remember what he says, but he just takes him and throws him out the fucking window. You know, and it's like, damn. And and over the whatever it is, this police scanners, Richie hears that, you know, his men has been taken out. You know, a lot of them, not all of them, which is crazy. You know, because when you go off and take out a lot of people like that, especially mafia, you know, you ain't got much time.
Yeah, and then, like I said, you got the mafia after you. You got, you know, Steven Seagal after you. I'm sure you got all the other cops after you. Like,
right?
You know, he's just like, fuck it, man. And I know eventually one of these motherfuckers is going to get me. So, you know, let me go out in a total blaze of glory. I'm just going to get fucked up. I'm going to cause a ruckus, and when I get taken out, hey, you know,
fuck it. Right. It says after Steven Seagal character visiting a number of local hangouts and establishments, trying to find information, Gino discovers that Richie killed Bobby because Bobby was having an affair with two women, one of them being Richie's girlfriend. You know, and the other one, and he was having sex with a waitress too.
Yeah.
So, yes, they go to their home. And he finds that she is dead. Gino believes that Richie killed Roxanne before he killed Bobby.
Yes, yeah. I mean that's the case, dude. She was dead all along.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, and that's where he had lost it.
Damn. And and it gets down to the big thing where him and his guys go to a house to party, and that's when.
Right, but even before that, Gino goes to the wife's house, tells the widow what's going on, and Gino finds the picture that Richie dropped on Bobby after killing him.
Yeah, and she wound up grabbing it afterwards and hid it because she didn't want nobody to see that.
Right. It says here Bobby turns out to have been a corrupt cop who had wanted a money-making lifestyle like Richie. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, he also, there's a kid in the movie where that Seagal is friends with, and he says if you see Richie, drop the dime. So that's how he finds out where Richie and his crew is at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because the kid drops the dime.
Yeah, tells him like he's here.
Yeah, and he tells the kid, look, I know that area, get the hell out of there. So he ends up going in there with a fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
And telling everybody to freeze, and one of them shoots him, and he ends up gunning them all down. And this one guy comes out with a girl, and he ends up shooting him in the fucking leg, blowing half his leg off. And the guy's tripping out. I was like, oh, fuck, motherfucker. You shot my leg off. Yeah. I was like, damn. That was pretty intense.
Oh, yeah. His fight scenes, like a lot of that, his movies are like that, man.
Oh, yeah. And then he comes across the one guy that he knocked the teeth out earlier in the movie. He takes him and pulls him through a bedroom opening into a fucking wall, and the guy stands up and says, fuck you, cop, and he kicks him like extremely hard in the gut. He goes flying back into the wall, and I believe it kills him because you see him there with his eyes open and blood running out of his mouth.
Yeah, I think he kicked him into like something hanging out of the wall.
I don't know, but he got fucked up big time.
Yeah,
he should have never went with Richie's gang, man.
Yeah, he should have learned after he got his teeth knocked out.
Stay the fuck out of danger.
Yeah.
Stay out of Dodge. So he ends up shooting up, killing everybody pretty much, and then
the big confrontation.
Yeah, Richie's hiding, like in a bathroom, I believe. And they end up kind of shooting at each other until he runs out of bullets, and he comes out and he's like, what are you going to do, huh? You going to arrest me? I'm out of bullets. He's like, that's too bad. Because those bullets could have saved you a lot of pain. And he's like, I like pain. And he goes rushing after Seagal. Seagal throws him into walls and shit.
Yeah, they wound up having like a big old tussle.
Yeah, they get a big throwdown fight, and then he ends up just wrecking Richie big time. I mean, he's throwing him around, fucking his face up, and Richie's trying to do everything he can, knives and all pans and shit, and just he's not having a good day at that point. He's getting fucked up.
How did he take him out at the end?
At the end, he, some sort of corkscrew. He goes to stab him. He takes it and he hits him in the head with a corkscrew, I believe it is called.
Yeah. Then he winds up like shooting him.
Yeah. And then the mafia members come to visit the house. He takes one of the mafia members' guns and shoots him.
Yeah, not just shoots him once, but he shoots him like several times and hands the gun like, congratulations, you killed him.
Yeah, right. He says,
that the mafia guy would get the glory for the kill.
Yeah. He hits him in the head with the corkscrew, killing him. Then the mafia arrives soon after. It says their intent was to kill Richie too. It says Gino uses the mafia member's gun to shoot the already dead Richie several times, then tells him to return to his boss and take credit for Richie's death.
Yeah.
Which is pretty intense. And that's one at the end of the movie where they're like at a Coney Island and whatnot, and he runs into that guy that dropped off the garbage with the dog.
The guy had like a bumper sticker on his car.
Right. And I like how he goes, hey, fuck nuts, are you the one that fucking dropped this bag off and all that with the dog? He goes, yeah, what's it your business? I'll fucking put you in a bag or something like that. And he goes to punch him, and he turns around and kicks him in the nuts.
Nice.
And then the dog ends up, she puts the dog down, and he ends up pissing on the man's head.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you. Payback's a bitch.
Payback's a bitch.
That's the one thing, man. I love dogs, man. I hate to see anybody, harm a dog.
No, I agree with you.
Especially a puppy. That dog was a puppy.
Yeah, just throwing a puppy out in a garbage bag like that. I mean, is it so hard just to drop the dog off at an animal shelter or something,
Yeah.
You ain't got to do some bullshit like that, But all in all, it's a good film with some cool fight scenes in there. The one with the bar fight scene with the sticks, I think is probably the coolest one.
Yeah.
I noticed that, Seagal, he was on his knees because he's a really tall person.
Yeah.
So he was on his knees doing that fight scene with Dan Inosanto.
With sticks, they were doing it.
Right. That's
they
cool.
They were fucking going at it. Like, they weren't just like, man, they were really just wrecking the sticks together.
That's probably why he wanted Dan to be in the movie, because he's good with sticks.
Yeah.
So, it was cool to see that, hell of a fight scene. He wrecked the whole bar. He even the bartender. I like the part where he's like, what's all this boxing? Who's the boxer? He's like, me. He's like, you're the boxer. He goes, you're a tough guy. He's like, tough enough. He goes, what do you think you could do? He's like, to you? Yeah. And he goes to punch him, and Seagal dodges it and, hits him with like an elbow and knocking him out.
Yeah.
Damn.
And what about what he did to Richie's brother? Remember, he smashed his face down on the damn...
Yeah, because he pulled a gun on him.
Yeah, and he's like broke his nose and shit.
Yeah. His brother, he probably got the worst of it in the movie because he was the one that was always getting fucked with, either by Seagal or the mafia guys.
Yeah, he got fucked with by Seagal, fucked with by the mafia guys.
Yeah, they wanted to know where his brother's at.
And then even his own brother,
yeah, that's true. His own brother's like, why do you let them do that to you, huh? Why do you let them fuck you up like that? It's crazy.
And like you say, he socks it, does that. I better never see you again.
Yeah. You get your gun out. He's like, hey, I can't. And then he backhands him. Don't let me ever fucking see you again, man. I'm kind of surprised he didn't kill his own brother. It's like he's like...
You realize, like you said, when he killed that one random woman like that,
for no reason, just because...
he would just take out anybody.
Well, yeah, because he was on, a lot of drugs, and his girlfriend showing that picture, I think, just kind of...
Yeah, the combination of the drugs and the shock of, oh, you doing him?
Plus, Seagal's character said that, Rich, even when they were kids, Richie was always into bad shit. So it was only a matter of time before he became a loose cannon.
Yeah, that's truly what he was. He was a fucking loose cannon.
Yeah. And his acting in that is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he really pulled it off. There's a handful of movies, like I said, that he really brought it, and Out for Justice is one of them. And also, like I said, Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth, I think the same year. That's another good one with him in it, and The Devil's Rejects.
And don't forget Halloween.
Right. He did pretty good in Halloween. But yeah, he can bring it when he needs to. Hell of a good actor, man.
I will crawl over there and I will skull fuck the shit out of you.
In Halloween. Yeah. That's a good movie, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Yeah.
You know what's funny about that Halloween? He was actually the cast that he was wearing, those were real casts.
Yeah.
Like he was really injured from a motorcycle wreck. That's why they had to film his scenes that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because he was actually really fucking hurt.
Yeah, that happens. But all in all, I would definitely give this movie a thumbs up. What a cool early 90s, action film.
Yeah,
like I said, it had a lot of everything in it. You know, you had your good action, suspense,
Great acting,
little comedy, here and there.
some ass kicking all over the place.
Yeah, just shocking scenes, like I said, with him killing that woman. And
I would like to see a longer version, like they had intended.
yeah.
It says the movie was originally much longer. I would like to see this, director's cut or whatever this longer version is.
Yeah.
I know I've seen the TV versions, and it did include a few scenes where Richie. Let's see, was Richie and his guys were breaking into the house where his wife is trying to find her, but leaving when neighbors showed up. Yeah, a bunch of neighbors showed up with bats and shit, and he ended up leaving. I do remember seeing that.
Yeah.
That wasn't in the theatrical cut.
Yeah, nobody wanted that crazy motherfucker around. Like,
Hell no. Yeah, you want to talk about loose cannon heat, man? He really brought it. Hell of a good movie, man.
Wasn't there something when he was like in the car with his guys? He handed them like something that was wrapped up, and they unwrapped it. And they're like, "What the fuck?" It was.
I don't know. Nothing rings a bell.
I thought that was because it was like before, like. Remember, what was that one guy's name? The guy always had, like, he was in a couple of Steven Seagal movies that had all the tattoos and.
Right.
He was in quite a few movies, but like there's a part where they're all in the car, and when they all first, and like he shows them this, and he unwraps it, and they don't really show what it is, but the guy like throws it on the floor, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall that scene.
Yeah.
But
all in all, like I said, it was good. It was really good. Like, I mean, it was all of like Steven Seagal movies back around that time frame always had that good, like, you always left like thinking, man, that was cool.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film, and I think it will always hold up, from the early 90s.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think that's about it for this one. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
But, yeah, that was our review on the 1991 movie Out for Justice, starring Steven Seagal and William Forsythe. Cool movie, cool action film. If you haven't seen it and you're into action movies, I definitely recommend go pick it up on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Good film, man.
Yeah, it was, man. For a 90s movie, it was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it gets violent at times, too. That's probably why they had to cut out, like, it was even more violent. But they had to cut out, from what I'm reading, a lot of that stuff out. Because I guess originally it got an X rating. This is crazy.
So, I mean, yeah, if they get an X rating, that means there was some, like...
Oh, no, it originally got rated NC-17 for brutal and graphic violence. Wow.
Yeah, because there's probably, like, more blood and more gore, and it's like, oh, shit, yeah, we can't show that.
It's a bit too much. But I don't know, like, I'm always for, seeing director's cuts or extended versions or unrated versions, man.
Hell, whenever I go out and buy a movie, like, I remember back when Halloween first came out, Rob Zombie's, they came out with two different
versions.
They came out with a theatrical and an unrated, and
right.
I already done seen the theatrical at the theater, but I got the unrated, and I was just like, wow, the unrated is so different from the theatrical.
Well, yeah, so some of it's been changed around. His escape scheme was pretty 100% different.
Halloween 2, they made the same deal with that, and the director's cut is like
it's like you're watching a total different movie in a way.
Right. Yep, that's something we'll get into in the future.
Yeah.
We'll do reviews on those in due time, but for now, let's wrap this one up. This was a really cool, like I said, Steven Seagal film. I think one of his best. Not his very best, but I'd say it's one of his best. You know?
It holds up. Like I said, the combination between Steven Seagal and William Forsythe is
right.
And like you said, the dialogue, like how, like, you know, them bullets could have saved you a lot of pain. I like pain.
Yeah, right. I hope you like pain, because he definitely gave it to him.
Yeah.
But anyways,
it kind of reminded me of remember in the Terminator when the guy is fighting Arnold and he's like, "Don't make me bust you up, man," and he winds up getting fucking busted up.
Right, yeah, because he's taking on a Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I mean, like I said, it's like Out for Justice. He's like, I like pain. Like, oh yeah, you like pain, huh? Well, let's see how much you like this.
Yeah, because he throws them all around the place. Plus, he fucks up his face so bad that his whole face is bloody. Yeah, it's crazy. The only thing he was able to do, because Seagal had got shot, you know, in the side, William Forsythe's character wasn't able to hit him, not even once, but he did grab him where he was shot at, you know. So he looked like he was in pain, and that's the only thing he seemed to be able to do. Other than that, he couldn't get no hits off of Seagal.
Yeah, that's the only thing I didn't like about Steven Seagal back in those movies, is like nobody could ever get a fucking hit on him.
Right, he barely gets hit or beat up or anything.
Yeah, like everybody that, you know, he fights his way up to a main bad guy, and you think like, oh man, this is going to be a badass fight, and you just see like Seagal basically just dominate the fucking fight.
Yeah, he did that in most of his films.
Yeah, it wasn't until like later on, like, you see him like finally like get like a worthy opponent and have a really good knockdown drag out fight.
Even then, they didn't get many hits in. I can tell you that.
No, I
don't recall Seagal in any of his movies really getting his ass beat up or knocked out. I know in the Glimmer Man he got punched in the face, so he's bleeding out of his mouth and nose, but he only got hit in the face once.
Yeah, so you don't really see him like.
Yeah, you never see him get beat up. It's you know.
The only thing I ever seen like bad happen to him in the movies is him getting killed in a executive decision.
Right.
Where he got blown through the fucking out of the plane and shit.
Right, which is another film we'll review in due time.
Review on.
Yeah, that's a good movie. But anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed our review on Out for Justice. Cool movie, like I said, with Steven Seagal. William Forsythe stole the show, man.
Yeah.
As the bad guy.
You're trying to cut the footage down.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you cut his footage down or not. He still stole the show. Because his acting was so good in it. And you really believed his character. You know, fucking crazy. Balls to the wall.
He was a crazy ass bad. Like that's the kind of bad guys you gotta really be scared of.
Yeah.
Like
just
like somebody that crazy. Like somebody who'll just go up to you, don't even know you, and just pow, like take you out. Like, yeah, that's somebody who, like,
stay away from. Yeah, a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did it well. He pulled off his character well because he's a good actor.
Yes, he is.
Hell yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and end this review. We hope you guys enjoyed this review on Out for Justice with Steven Seagal, William Forsythe, and plus, like, there's other good actors like Gina Gershon. She's in it.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo plays a very small part in it. Dan Inosanto, There's a few others. Jerry O'Brash, he's the captain. He shows up here and there. And, yeah. So
good cast, good movie, and good stuff.
And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. We are out of here and have a kick-ass night. Peace out.